advantages all over the place. Jay Will, yikes.
So I'm going to say this, Stephen A. And you know I love me some college basketball.
Yeah.
Dan Hurley and Rick Pitino is the biggest coaching rivalry we have in basketball right now. I don't know what other rivalries. I don't know what other rivalries we have in the NBA, but I will tell you, Dan Hurley is one of the craziest coaches you'll ever meet. He's so passionate about it. You already know Coach Pitino.
It was Rick Pitino.
Right? So the fact that these two collide. Now, here's my thing. They usually call Madison Square Garden, I think, Stores South, right? Because they usually sell out Madison Square Garden. Now, last time when St. John's, they played this year, St. John's won, and Rick Pitino went out in the newspaper and said, I think that was about 80, 90% red tonight. 80, 90% red in this building tonight. Like, we took over the Garden again. I think that's why Dan Hurley wanted to smack them at UConn. Like, this is something that's festering right now that I think has a chance to be one of the top storylines in all basketball, NBA and college with those two.
I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know that. I respect the hell out of both coaches. I'm a huge fan of Dan Hurley. He's a sensational coach. I just love him. But I will say this. That was an aberration last night, only from this standpoint. I don't give a damn who you are. Who the hell spends an entire half shooting 2 for 28? Who the hell misses 24 straight shots? I mean, it's like I would love to give UConn all the credit in the world, but I mean, you can't make that up. St. John's, a bunch of bricklayers, construction workers. Well, you know what? If it was the summertime, it would be appropriate. But considering the fact that we just experienced, y'all, not me, but y'all just experienced the blizzard, okay? Considering that reality, damn, they listen. If this was mimicking shoveling snow, it would have been understandable, but it wasn't. You were just laying bricks all over the damn place. That's an aberration. I mean, listen, I know the final score. You got romped. You got blown out. I get it. But ladies and gentlemen, you'd be hard-pressed to find a team that misses 24 straight shots. That spends an entire half going 2 for 28. I mean, damn, they just couldn't buy a basket. That's really what that was about.
It could be an aberration. Doesn't mean Dan Hurley didn't enjoy it.
No. And St. John's had won 13 straight games leading into last night. But I know a Dan that did enjoy it last night. I know a Dan that did enjoy it. Look, get in here, Dan Orlowski. UConn grad. Now that should be a UConn jersey, not a Team USA jersey.
Team USA jersey. Team USA jersey.
Look at the basketball.
Stephen, I haven't seen you in a minute.
Isn't it the off season? Isn't it the off season? What are you doing here? Why are we looking at you?
Stephen A., a couple things. I don't know why you're looking at me. You're wearing so spin. You called it an aberration. Aberration or
aberration?
Aberration?
Yeah, there you go.
Aberration. 2 years ago when they went to the national title, they went on that 30-0 run versus Illinois. So maybe it's a UConn thing. It's not just a one-off. Maybe it's a UConn plays defense.
Your chair's over.
Well, to the basketball wannabe wearing the hockey jersey. Let me state for you that when there could be 30-0 runs, there could be 20-0 runs, but usually that's rife with a bunch of turnover, sloppy play, and stuff like that. Rare in the day do you see any team miss 24 straight
We'd have to go check your
That
stat
is
line.
a huge.
He's speaking facts right now.
I haven't seen him in 2 weeks.
All right.
I haven't seen him in 2
Dan's going to stick around.
Just say you miss me. Just say you miss me. That's all.
You can't make it.
That's all.
I bet you $5 you can't make it.
good. Oh, no.
Bet 5.
Oh, no.
Cash.
Oh,
I hit all sides of the rim, though.
Run in.
All right, Dan's going to stick around and talk a little football. Coming up here on First Take, Kevin Durant had some choices.
And I think here's why. Number one, being dropped into this part of the season or later changes the chemistry and dynamic of how your team plays. There are a lot of players right now, and I know a lot of fans would think it can be additive, right, because it's Jason Tatum. But also, like, not having the fluidity of touching the rock, the continuity of that, the continuity of fitting inside that system this season in particular, I think that would be very disruptive to the way the Boston Celtics played. And also what happens with that is when you drop somebody of his magnitude inside of a team, if that's March or late April, people start deferring. The pressure ramps up. Jason Tatum starts to expect to try to do things that we haven't seen him do this year, also react in that mindset. So I don't know if I like the position it puts him in. And lastly, what I will say is that, and look, if he gets cleared, he gets cleared. But guys, these Achilles injuries, they aren't anything to play around with. Ain't nothing to play around with. Like, we've seen how many of them happened last year. We see the wear and tear. We see the pace of this game, which is exceptionally different than before. And just inserting yourself back into that at the most intensified time of the year where scattering reports get pinpointed, I just don't like the situation it puts him in rather than have him ease into next season, take his time this offseason, crystallize how he feels, and let that be the ramp where he bolts into next year. That's just how I feel about it. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, let me be a bit facetious before I get a bit serious by reminding everybody that when Jason Tatum showed up in the studio earlier this year, earlier this season on First Take, I implored him to stay home. I implored him. I said, hey, man, you don't need to risk anything. Stay home. Don't play. You know, the New York Knicks' path to prosperity. I mean, don't get in the way of that. Stay home, relax, rest for the rest of the season. We'll see you next year. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? He was laughing about that because I was trying to convince him to stay home, right? But in all seriousness, Damian Lillard ain't thinking about coming back this year. Tyrese Halliburton ain't thinking about coming back this year, but there's reasons for that, Jay. And the reasons for that is their team ain't contending for a championship. And I think if we saw the Boston Celtics plummet the way Indiana has in the absence of a Tyrese Halliburton, even though Miles Turner is gone, Mathurin is gone, that kind of stuff. The fact is that you look at the Boston Celtics and the way that Jaylen Brown has been playing, and you're still fantasizing about capturing another NBA championship. And I don't say fantasizing like it's a pipe dream. I'm just talking about legitimate dreams. Because obviously, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, if Jason Tatum, some miracle happened and he came back and he was Jason Tatum, with Jaylen Brown being what we see him being what we've seen him be this season, my God, what could Boston do? You can't rule out anything. And I think that's what this is all about. Me personally, I would be inclined to hold off in all seriousness because it is an Achilles as opposed to an ACL or something else. An Achilles is not something to play with. And to rush back and come back early, you could potentially derail your future with that because this is an Achilles tear that we're talking about here. But I think Boston knows that better than anybody. Tatum knows that better than anybody. Brown knows that better than anybody. And it's twofold. On one hand, you don't want to see him jeopardize his future, even though you understand why he's doing it, why he would be doing it, because they got a chance to capture a championship. But the other thing is, the same Jaylen Brown that we put on a hot seat in the regular season that has answered the call in MVP caliber fashion, I want to see if that brother, as the number one option, shows up in the postseason too. It would be interesting to see what Jaylen Brown does when he doesn't have a Jason Tatum to defer to, when everyone is deferring to him, and it's in a best-of-7 series. I'd like to see Jaylen Brown under those conditions because I think he'd respond in a big way and put everybody on notice. You should have had me on the Olympic team, and you should have always considered me a number one option, even if it's 1 and 1A with Jason Tatum, because I'm that dude.
Shay, I think that this question that's down here, this is only for one person. That's for Jason Tatum. And he's going to be the one that gets to decide whether he's ready or not. And I think the Celtics have put it in position where they apply no pressure to him, nor have they ever indicated speculation. And they have gone overboard in protecting where he's at in his recovery because they don't want people to get amped up. And they have given him that space. And he has something on his side. And all this downside of coming back from this injury, what he's got on his side is he's already proven he's a champion. He's not trying to get back to show people anything. He's answered all of the questions. But where I think it is fascinating is exactly what you just said, Stephen A., is the difference that he can make in this race. Because I could sit here and explain to you, oh, this is why I think Detroit can win. But I could easily explain to you this is why they can't. Say the same thing about Cleveland. Say the same thing about the Knicks. Knicks take 2 steps forward, 1 step back every freaking week. I have no idea what they're going to look like. But and when you look at Boston, as impressive of a season as they're having, let's just be fair and honest. From a talent standpoint, top 8 versus top 8, they don't match up.